What's up, guys? It's not Friday night. I'm a day late. Sorry. Happy New Year, everyone. Hope everyone had a safe and happy New Year. So, saw a post earlier in the boards that got me a little fired up. Jeff Compton, Jada Mechanic, put up a post about one of his videos, and one of the comments in it was, guys, it's not hard. Pay, benefits, competent management and ownership. It's not a mystery as to why the business is suffering, but for some reason you have podcast episodes about this. Yeah, we do. Your response to the question, so how do you plan to help? Well, nothing, because I'm a tech, not a manager or owner. We can keep going in this circle as the business has for a couple decades now. Our ownership management can get their heads out of their asses and address those four things. It's that easy. Right. So, as a tech, you have probably the frontline responsibility in making shops not suck. Okay? Well, let's just be real about that. Ownership management, they give you the building to work in, they give you the lifts, they probably give you a little bit of equipment. They may set the tone, but as a tech in the Bay, we're the ones who are setting the culture. We're the ones who make it a fun place to work or a miserable place to work. We're the ones who drive people out of this. Pay, benefits, yeah, they help. We take care of the clients. The pay will be there. The benefits will be there. Retirement options will be there. But if we're too busy blaming everyone else and doing nothing to fix it, nothing is going to change. If you can't take a couple minutes to take an apprentice under your wing and show him something when he's asking for help, you're the problem. You're the reason people leave, because they can't get the guidance they need when they need it. I'm not saying hold their hands, but there's times where someone needs a little bit of help. You know, I've been there. I'm sure everybody in this group that is twisting wrenches or running a counter or running a shop has been there. None of us came into this knowing how to do it all. We all sucked at it. Hopefully you're brave enough to be able to suck pretty frequently, because that means you're growing. You're out of your comfort zone. You're learning. But the level of arrogance to take that approach that it's everybody else's problem, not yours, that's a huge problem in this industry, and it does go top to bottom. There are plenty of owners that you can't tell them anything. You can't suggest anything, because then you're questioning them, and then they're going to get offended, and they're not going to hear it. You know, I don't care how long you've been doing it. I saw in another comment, dude said he'd been doing it 25 years. I don't give a shit how long you've been doing it wrong. Okay, I just don't. You can do something wrong for decades, doesn't make it right. But if you're going to pass off the blame, pass off the responsibility, take no accountability, and not recognize that you have a lot you can do to make things better in your shop, and that will bleed over. Based on that reply, I'm sure you guys burn a lot of people through that building. You know, is it our job to babysit and handhold every apprentice through the door, every lube tech, every newer tech who's learning? No. They have to be allowed to learn. They have to be allowed to screw up. They have to be allowed to learn mistakes. As senior techs, we have to give them the tools to be able to work through this stuff. You know, we don't get to pass the buck and say, yep, not my problem. Was that George Carlin said, not in my backyard? That ain't us. We can't do that. We've done that long enough. We don't get to do that anymore. We've put this industry in a real bad position. And I'm talking to everybody, but I am primarily talking to techs. It's really frustrating to me when techs take the approach that it's not their problem, not their responsibility, and they have no part in it. Techs have a real bad habit of misrepresenting what they're capable of, what they're able to actually do effectively, and how good they are. Everybody thinks they're God's gift to the automotive industry. I promise you're not. 80% of the techs that I have worked with, I would not trust them to work on my own vehicle. Long and short of it. There are a lot of techs that think they are great, and they aren't. Attitudes like that are a huge part of it. You know, if you can't recognize that you have a huge part to play in the culture in your shop, in the way your shop is recognized, then you really need to maybe take off some rose-colored glasses and pull your head out of your ass and realize you are part of the problem. You are the core of the problem, in my opinion. You know, ownership management sets the culture. They set the standard. It is up to us to uphold it. We are the ones who day in, day out have to act out that culture and uphold it and enforce it. That doesn't mean going around cracking the whip, but it means we have to be better than what we have been. We have to be better than what we have accepted. If there's a shop that isn't paying enough, that isn't offering a decent compensation package, figure out why. Is it something you can improve? If you accepted a job there, you knew what you were walking into. You don't get a lot of room to bitch, but you can probably do something to improve it. If you're working for an owner who doesn't want to listen, who isn't willing to have that conversation, leave. Go somewhere where they will. There are a lot of shops out there that are really hurting for people, that will take care of their people, that will do the right thing by their people, that will grow and nurture their people. But if you take the approach that it is not your responsibility, not your problem, not your shit to deal with, just stop. Make room for somebody who is going to take some accountability and take some initiative to make things better. That's what we do, is we fix things. That is the core of our job, is fixing things. It's what we're paid to do. It doesn't mean we stay comfortable and we fix only the cars that come in the bay. There's lots of shit that needs fixing. And you know what? We all have a responsibility to play a part in that. Whether you are an owner, a manager, a foreman, a parts guy, a QC guy, a technician, you have a responsibility to do something to make it better. Little things make a huge difference. Taking the 5 minutes to explain how to find something, not how to do it, but how to find the information. Showing somebody a trick that will get them through a job a little bit smoother. Maybe not faster, but without breaking something, without damaging something. Giving them some of those tools and passing along some of that experience, we have a responsibility as senior techs to do that. If you don't recognize that, get out. If you can't see beyond yourself, get out. This isn't, we've done this too long. We've treated our coworkers and our colleagues like nothing but competition for too long. It doesn't work, and it's got us into a real bad spot. But if you are not willing to take a little bit of initiative to do something to fix that and start working towards a solution, stop talking. Just keep your mouth shut and move on, because you don't get the right to complain about it if you're not willing to do something about it. Guys, if you like what you're seeing, like and subscribe. Let me know. Shoot me a comment, whatever. Something you want me to talk about, let me know. If you see something that feels like it's worth it, shoot it over. But see you on the next one, guys. Have a good one. Have a good New Year.